The money sitting inside your wallet or the numbers flashing on your banking app right now, what exactly are they in reality? Economics textbooks always teach us that money was born because direct bartering between ancient people was simply too complicated. But dedicated anthropologists have never found a single historical record of an ancient society that actually operated this way. Money actually began as debt, an invisible ledger of social memories tracking who owed what to whom within a community. For millennia, human currency has followed a brutal, repeating cycle, born from trust, abused by rulers, and collapsed into worthlessness. As small tribes grew into massive cities, humans needed scarce, tangible objects to represent their unrecorded debt across distances. In 600 BC, the world's first official coin system was born under the absolute seal of the Lydian king. From that exact moment in time, money became permanently tied to political power and the faces of ruling authorities. To fund expensive wars, Roman rulers quietly gathered pure silver coins, melted them down, and mixed in cheap copper. By the year 270, the denarius held only 5% silver, triggering catastrophic hyperinflation and breaking the empire. In 11th century China, the Song dynasty made a revolutionary breakthrough by inventing the world's very first paper currency. Realizing printing was far too easy, emperors printed excessively, causing the currency to collapse and forcing a return to metal. During the Renaissance, the powerful Medici family created a banking empire using highly abstract bills of exchange across Europe. They brilliantly bypassed religious laws, turning physical money into an invisible, highly abstract financial network controlled by elite bankers. To maintain stable values, modern nations eventually adopted the gold standard, anchoring paper money directly to physical gold. But during World War I, desperate governments broke the golden rules and printed massive amounts of money to fund conflicts. By 1923, Germany hit hyperinflation, where burning stacks of cash was cheaper than buying actual firewood. In 1944, the historic Bretton Woods Agreement tied global currencies strictly to the stable US dollar. Facing severe economic pressure from the Vietnam War, President Richard Nixon shocked the financial world on August 15, 1971. He officially ended the global gold backing, completely severing the link between the paper dollar and real physical gold. The global economy officially entered the fiat era, where issued money has zero tangible asset backing whatsoever. Today, fiat money exists purely on collective public trust in the stability and military power of issuing governments. Unbound by physical gold reserves, central banks can now conjure trillions of dollars out of thin air with a single keystroke. This unchecked creation has caused the real purchasing power of the dollar to plunge 80% over 50 years. In 2008, reckless and greedy banking behavior pushed the entire global financial system to the brink of total collapse. Governments bailed out these failing institutions with newly printed trillions, leaving ordinary citizens to shoulder the resulting inflation. It created a decentralized digital ledger with a hard mathematical cap of 21 million coins, unprintable by any central bank. To fight back against decentralized crypto, global central banks are now launching central bank digital currencies, known as CBDCs. Unlike current commercial digital money, CBDCs eliminate financial privacy by tracking every single penny you spend in real time. The state gains the terrifying power to program, restrict, or completely freeze your funds based on your behavior. Looking back across 10,000 years of history, money has never been a simple, neutral medium of exchange. It remains an ultimate machine of political power, deciding exactly who controls whom within human society. As the next form of money hits your phone screen, the ultimate question is, who will control it? Governments or you? To understand how we reached this digital crossroad, we must examine the silent engineering behind our modern financial system. Every fiat note issued today is a physical manifestation of an invisible contract based entirely on future production. When a government issues new currency, it is effectively borrowing against the future labor and taxes of its citizens. This structure creates a hidden tax called inflation, which quietly reduces the economic value of every hour you work. While your nominal wages might remain the same, the actual purchasing power of those earnings steadily decays over time. The physical kings of the past required vast armies to seize wealth, but modern financial systems do it mathematically. Commercial banks amplify this process through fractional reserve banking, creating fresh money whenever they issue a new loan. A tiny fraction of physical cash sits in the vault, while the rest exists purely as digital leverage in computer systems. When the credit expansion stops, asset bubbles burst instantly, leaving ordinary families to default on their inflated debts. The economic crashes we witness periodically are not natural disasters. They are structural features of credit-based money. Even the oldest clay ledgers found in ancient Mesopotamia reveal that interest and debt controlled agricultural societies. Farmers who suffered a bad harvest fell permanently into debt slavery, surrendering their ancestral lands to the ruling elite. The complexity of modern financial instruments serves the same historic purpose, keeping the true mechanism of money hidden. When the rules of currency are dictated by a centralized authority, the system will naturally favor those closest to the printer. This phenomenon is known as the Cantillon effect, where the wealthy receive newly printed money first before prices rise. By the time this new currency flows down to the working class, general consumer prices have already inflated significantly. The fall of ancient empires provides a stark warning about the long-term consequences of diluting state currency values. When a society can no longer trust its medium of exchange, the social contract dissolves, leading to fragmentation. History shows that human ingenuity always searches for a hard, unalterable alternative whenever fiat systems begin to decay. The invention of cryptographic scarcity was a direct technological response to the systemic failures of 2008. It shifted the foundational basis of trust away from politicians and institutions, placing it entirely into immutable mathematics. A global network operating without a central coordinator represents a profound shift in how humans organize economic value. But this alternative financial model faces immense opposition from the established centers of global monetary power. The upcoming introduction of sovereign digital currencies represents the next major chapter in this civilizational struggle. A centralized digital token gives authorities absolute visibility and direct programmatic control over every transaction. Imagine an economic system where your ability to purchase basic goods can be instantly restricted for non-compliance. This level of economic engineering has never existed before, turning currency into a literal tool of social behavior modification. The historical purpose of money was to facilitate open cooperation among strangers, not to enforce state surveillance. When we surrender the independence of our transactional choices, we surrender a fundamental element of personal liberty. Our ancestors built networks of survival based on mutual trust because they understood the extreme danger of isolation. Whenever a centralized entity gains complete control over a resource, the community loses its adaptive resilience. True economic health requires decentralized diversity, allowing multiple ideas and systems to compete openly for trust. The financial winter we are entering will test which systems possess genuine stability and which are built on illusions. Understanding the deep history of currency allows us to see through temporary convenience and recognize the underlying stakes. The preservation of financial freedom is an essential pillar for maintaining an open, democratic society in the future. As civilization advances into an entirely digital future, the foundational principles of money must be protected. We must actively choose whether our digital tools will serve to liberate human potential or tightly restrict it. The physical remnants of past financial systems show us that nothing built by human authority lasts forever. The ultimate survival of any currency depends on its alignment with reality and its utility to ordinary people. When centralized systems inevitably become too heavy and fragile, new decentralized alternatives will naturally grow from the edges. Time continuously exposes the weakness of human manipulation, forcing a return to honest and transparent metrics. We stand at a critical evolutionary juncture, inheriting the legacy of 10,000 years of monetary experimentation. The hard-won wisdom of our ancestors is clearly recorded in the ruins of empires that debased their currency. Developing a deep, critical understanding of how money operates is your strongest defense against structural exploitation. The true power of human economic interaction has always lived within our collective networks, not within state-issued decrees. We must build our digital platforms on open, unalterable rules that protect individual sovereignty over state control. The fundamental nature of money is a reflection of human relationships, requiring truth and honesty to function smoothly. We possess the technological tools required to build a transparent financial future, free from centralized manipulation. Every structural economic crisis is a clear warning to reassess our dependence on fragile, centralized architecture. The history of currency is an unbroken story of humans searching for a reliable anchor of trust across time. As the current financial paradigms shift around us, we must maintain absolute clarity about our fundamental economic choices. The ancient drive to preserve independence and personal sovereignty must guide our modern technological designs. The real record of human economic resilience is written permanently into the long, quiet evolution of our choices. The world functions in a continuous state of unpredictable flux, and past structural stability never guarantees future survival. The foundational desire to trade freely, forged over millennia, continues to drive human progress and innovation today. The early structures of human society were designed to protect the collective, ensuring the survival of the community. The human body remains the ultimate physical companion of our digital civilization, navigating the long road of time. When faced with systemic choice, we must actively opt for open networks rather than closed, restrictive architectures. When you examine the deep origins of human ledger systems, you are looking directly at a monument of cooperation. Through historical shifts and modern economic crises, our shared social networks remain our ultimate evolutionary anchor. So next time financial anxiety strikes, set your digital phone down and contemplate who holds the true power.